So this is going to be a little unfiltered, I guess. I don't really know the general direction I'm going to take this video in, but one thing I do know for certain is WWE in the year of 2025 feels ice fucking cold, right? We have 3 good years of WWE under Triple H, starting in 2022 when he took over for Vince McMahon after the whole allegations came out for Vince McMahon. We had sort of a ray of sunshine with Triple H because a lot of people obviously remembered how he booked NXT Black and Gold, remembered his types of, booking philosophies essentially, and were under the impression that this was going to be a new era. And for the most part, for 2.5 years, it was, right? We had 2022, the year of the bloodline. We had 2023. You had Gunther as the IC champion. 2024 comes around, the final boss, CM Punk. Like, there was so much to be excited about within these short periods of time between these 3 years, right? And now 2025 comes along, and going into this year, this company was red hot, right? They'll tout it every single time. They'll tell you how sold out the arena is, how they're on fire, how every metric is on fire. And going into 2025 and now going out of 2025, it feels like the boom has cooled off. It feels like wrestling isn't as cool as it was. It feels like wrestling has kind of hit a wall. And there's several aspects of this. Number one, and most importantly, is TKO. TKO, if you don't know, is the parent company of UFC and WWE. So whatever they say goes. And initially, we thought that them owning the company wasn't going to change much of anything. It was just going to be sort of more on the business side as far as what they control. But now recently we've seen how they want to implement so many things here and change up what we know now as wrestling, as professional wrestling. They want to add in sponsorships. They want the ring mat to have logos. They want the fucking tables to have Slim Jim logos on them. Like, at what point is it too fucking much to have sponsorships all around here? Now, I get that they want to pay their bills. I get that they want as much money as possible, but there has to be a limit. And also, take a look at the pricing, man. Like, it's damn near impossible now to go and not only just take yourself to one of these shows, but imagine you have a family of 4, you want to go and you want to take them to a wrestling show. Like, it's fucking damn near impossible. Like, I remember at the very least when Vince was in charge, I went to a few house shows here and there. I went to a SmackDown taping, and I think the very most for about 3 people was about $130. And nowadays, I don't even know if $130 gets you in the fucking building. So that's another aspect where fans are they're priced out, dude. You're pricing out the hardcores of hardcores. And how is it that you have the president of TKO, Mark Shapiro, he's quoted as saying that Vince McMahon was pricing too much for families. Like, we have to outprice them and, just have our tickets skyrocket up. Like, how does that make sense? If you're looking at this as a fan's perspective, it doesn't. It alienates the fans from even going to these shows. And, another reason why fans just haven't gone to these shows is really there isn't much to really see here. And I think when Cena retires in 2026, you're going to have a lot of people fall off. Why? Because Cena this year has been largely built as Cena's retirement, and he's been a focal point as far as him, his story, and everything that's around him. And other than that, there really isn't much to really sink your teeth into. Like I mentioned before, in previous years, we had the bloodline to carry most of the stories here. We had Gunther as the IC champion. We had The Rock come back, turn heel on Cody Rhodes. We had CM Punk return and face Drew McIntyre. We had several things that you could at the very least point and say, this is what's interesting about this wrestling program. Nowadays in 2025, I can't literally tell you what there is to be excited about as far as what this product has become, because it just feels so safe, so boring, so just soulless, right? I think The Rock actually took the soul of this company rather than the soul of Cody Rhodes. And don't really get me started as far as how they've handled John Cena as a whole this 2025 year, because it just sucks. I'm just gonna say it flat out. It just sucks the way they've handled him. It's been a fucking disgrace how they've handled him. And of course, you have somebody like Jey Uso out there who, no disrespect to Jey Uso, but the guy, you've given him several opportunities to become the top guy, the top main event guy, and he just hasn't lived up to it. So at a certain point, you have to just stop with the Jey Uso experiment. But they keep continuing to do this. And several things too, like Braun Breaker, they should have crowned him the World Heavyweight Champion, but they haven't. So that's another sort of like I guess not listening to the fans. Like, how many times have you seen people complain about somebody like LA Knight not get a championship match or not get a championship run? Like, they claim to be hip and cool as far as listening to the audience, but it really seems like they don't. And even Triple H goes on fucking interviews all around the country telling you how much he despises the internet wrestling fans and how you shouldn't really take their opinion at face value because they're fickle. You know, that's things where it's like, would NXT Triple H really say this? Would him as a booker in NXT really tell you that your opinion doesn't matter and you should just sit down and watch the product? Like, that's another thing that just pisses me off as a fan. Like, if you can't handle constructive criticism and if you have to go out there every single time and defend yourself for your booking, like, what does that say about you? It doesn't really say much about the fans. What does that say about you and how you're handling your position here? And it really just doesn't seem like Triple H even gives a fuck, because there's been several reports that Triple H hasn't even been on fucking Raw or SmackDown in the backstage area. Now, I don't really know if he's needed, but it would be at the very least a good sign to see that he at the very least cares and he's willing to stay there and watch the show from start to finish. And the last thing I wanted to mention here before I end the video off is the fact of they make moments, right? They create moments, right? They've had the New Day turn heel, they had Cena turn heel, they had Heyman turn heel on Roman and Punk. And the thing is, they're really good at creating moments, right? They're the best as far as professional wrestling to create moments. But the thing is, they can't seem to follow up with these moments. And I don't really know if that's a Triple H thing or what's going on, or if there's just no creativity when it comes to following up on these moments. Because how many times has Triple H given you a really impactful moment and he hasn't followed up? Like, look at R-Truth returning at Money in the Bank. He returned as Ron Killings, this serious, ultra serious character now, and 3 months later he's out there fucking doing a comedy segment with Brock Lesnar. Like, it just doesn't make sense. They can't seem to follow up with their moments. But post your comments down below. I know I'm missing a few things here and there as far as why this year creatively just feels cold compared to previous years, but post your comments down below. Let me know what you think of my opinions, and post your opinions as well down in the comments. And until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.